Hey, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Horror Debate. I am Jeff Rowdy J. Keir, and with me as always, Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing The Return, directed by Asif Kapadia. God, I hope I pronounced that right. Starring Buffy the Vampire Slayer's own Sarah Michelle Gellar.
As if. Isn't that how you say it?
As if? Asif?
I
don't know.
yeah, okay.
Okay, first off, this film, I gotta read the box to you here. This is all in blues and grays. If you haven't seen this, Sarah Michelle Gellar stars in a shocking, non-stop, supernatural thriller unlike anything you've ever experienced before. I don't know about you, Jeff. I've experienced an awful...
Can we just
Okay.
read that and then let the listeners decide whether or not this is even close to what we watched?
Joanna Mills is haunted by increasingly terrifying visions where she can see and feel the brutal murder of a woman she has never met. And it even says here on the bonus features, the alternate ending, too shocking for the big screen.
Oh,
too shocking.
boy. You know what? Whoever was in charge of marketing this movie owes me money.
Yeah, I'm furious.
They owe me money.
This film lies.
It's lied flat out. This is not the description of the movie that we watched.
There's even this blue-gray hand reaching through this window. This thing looks like... I remember picking this up going, oh, God, why... Sarah Michelle Gellar, why are you doing another Grudge? You know, you should be ashamed. No. What she said, probably she told her agent, I want to be in like one of those Oprah movies of the week. I want something that'll be on Lifetime to show that I can do drama. And she did. So it's not Sarah's fault.
I don't necessarily think...
company.
Yes, I don't necessarily think this was going to be another Grudge, although they do make sure to mention the Grudge on the back that Sarah Michelle has done the Grudge like nobody knows that, right?
Yeah, but I mean the hand reaching through the wall.
Right.
And it's all in grays
Right.
and blues and everything.
Let me tell you, can I watch the movie that's actually described on the back of that?
I would love to see that
Can we watch
movie.
that movie? Because the movie that came with this description, it was nowhere even close to that.
The movie that comes with the disc belongs on Lifetime.
Yeah,
You know, if this was
I'd
one
agree.
of those Lifetime,
I'd agree.
It's a drama about a woman who returns home, and rediscovers something that she picked up on back.
It had some decent elements to it. Now, I don't want to start this so negative by saying, okay, it wasn't what we expected. It sucks. That's not necessarily the case. It certainly wasn't what we expected.
And it was marketed to give us
It
that
was marketed
impression.
Completely incorrectly, and I'd have to say on purpose. I mean, come on, people.
People, who made this? It says here, Rogue Pictures. Person who was in charge of that over at Rogue Pictures. I don't know if they should get an Academy Award for marketing this film so effectively, even though it's not the film.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't want to start it off negative because this movie did have some merits to it, and which I do want to talk about. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen.
No, it's not.
It certainly did have some good points to it, but it just wasn't what we thought it was. And I kept asking myself, is that my fault? Did I read too much into this? Did I get the wrong idea from what I read on the back of the box? But then I talked to you, and you had the same idea as what I did.
I was lied to.
Going into this thing.
So I'm mad at this film because I feel like I was ripped off and lied to.
Yeah.
If it was marketed, if I knew what it was going into it, I'd be a lot nicer to it.
Right.
It's not the greatest film in the world, but
Right.
it's got some points to
Yeah,
it. But,
yeah.
But, oh, man.
I especially liked a lot of the acting in the film, and I do want to say that it was nice to have Rowdy Roddy Piper and Richie Sambora as love child as the main male character in the movie. Did you see that guy? Did he not look like Piper in certain scenes, and then you see him in something else, and he looked like Richie Sambora straight off the stage, man. I'm not kidding you. Oh, Keith Urban, too. He has some Keith Urban in him, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Just,
I looked at him, I looked at my wife, I said, Piper!
yeah.
You
So get to the film. I mean, what did you think about this film as what it is?
For what it is, disregarding all preconceived notions as far as what we read on the back of the box, it's not a bad film. It definitely had a good story to it, and it's a story that kind of unfolds throughout the entire movie. You don't really feel like you're stuck and it's never progressing anywhere, and it does kind of leave you on your first viewing a little bit guessing as to what's going down. There's a lot of different ways this story could go. Lay down the plot, Mike. Just lay it down without reading into what's on the back of the box.
The plot is Sarah Michelle Gellar, by the way, she's a dark brunette.
And she looked good as a brunette.
No, she did not.
Yes, she did.
No, she did not.
Yes, she did.
No.
Yes,
no.
she did.
Go back to blonde.
No, stay brunette.
Sarah, go to blonde.
Actually, either way, but I thought she looked fine as a brunette.
Brunette makes her look older. Go blonde. Blonde.
Oh, yeah, you always like those 12-year-olds. Go on. Plot, Mike, plot.
The plot. Okay, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she has this phobia about returning home to Texas. She's located in St. Louis, and she's a successful sales type person. And she decides she's having these weird visions that tell her she's got to go back home for some reason. And she revisits her dad, and her dad's like, "Gee, you haven't been here in a long time, you know, and you were a real problem child." And so throughout the course of the movie, she discovers what happened in her life that made her act all sorts of freaky weird when she gets back to Texas. All sorts of freaky
weird? I want that on the back of the box. All sorts of freaky weird by Michael Mandy.
Yeah, but it's more like it's a drama about a woman rediscovering what happened in her past that she can't seem to remember.
Right. Right.
And having weird flashbacks.
So here's the deal. You know, you get into the flick, you're a little confused, at least I was, because, you know, especially when she's like walking down that road and you see the cars that are like all broken up and things like this, and you're like, okay, so.
And then she wakes up the next day in the field and you're like,
yeah, and
wait a second, what is going on?
How did we get from there to here? Yeah. But it all wraps up really well, and I just want to say this, it made me freaking happy. It did not make me read the end of the movie. It wrapped up the movie with the actors. You know, this trend that everybody's got going on where they're going to flash this paragraph in your face. You know,
no text.
So you can read the end of the movie so they don't have to act it out. I do. I was just waiting for it to happen. Yeah. I was just waiting for it to happen, but it didn't. Oh. And I was glad, and it wrapped it up very nicely, I thought. And Sarah Michelle, she did a good job in the movie. I will say that most of the things she plays in, she does a very respectable job. The male actor, I'll call him Rowdy Sambora, he was actually very good as well, with the roughneck kind of Texas attitude going on. You know, very effective. You know, overall, I didn't have a lot to complain about except for the fact that it wasn't the movie I wanted to watch.
It wasn't the movie we were sold. You know, they sold you on a book. Well, the other thing is, I had a problem. I don't want to spoil anything at the end, but I think this movie would have worked better if the actors were more representative of the correct age. Because in this, something was supposed to have happened. This person, a guy was supposed to be a certain
Explain yourself,
age.
son.
Yeah, I try not to give this away. A character in the movie, something happened 20 years ago, and now it's 20 years later, and he still looks to be the same age.
Okay, so you're saying he's got the Dick Clark syndrome.
Yeah, and
okay,
you know, and
all right.
Gee, Sarah Michelle was really teeny, and now she's all big and grown up, but he's the same age.
Well,
something, you know, I think casting.
He hit pause.
Yeah,
he hit pause. He's all right. You know, I mean, okay, so yes, then there were a few holes in the plot. Oh, there was a few holes in the story. You know, but I wasn't looking real hard for this thing.
It was kind of slow paced too,
but
because we didn't know what the heck was going on.
But here's the thing too: is that if you're slow pacing a movie, you got to do it a certain way. You know, you have to give enough information to make it last 92 minutes or 93 minutes and make you not feel like you're stalled, you know? And this movie did that. It gave you enough bites of information as you went through to keep you interested. I did not fall asleep in this movie.
I came close.
Which is a credit to the movie, because I'll fall asleep in anything if it's sucking, right? Yeah. And this really wasn't all that bad. You thought I was going to hate this film. I remember talking to you. You were saying, you're going to hate this film?
Yeah.
And I really didn't hate it.
Like I said, the most of my anger and hatred toward this film is because I was lied to.
Right.
You know, well, this film promises me something different, so I was lied to.
I mean, I agree that it's marketed completely wrong, and they were trying to grab that grudge crowd because they figured that's built-in money right there. They're going to come see Sarah Michelle in this role if she's doing something similar. The only problem is that it's not similar in the least. I mean, look, okay, first of all, without even reading the back, Mike, look at the cover.
Uh-huh.
Look at the cover.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It looks cool.
It's this
cool eye, you know, it's like
with
rolled
the hand
back
as the iris, and it's
know,
all blues and grays.
It looks cool, and it makes you want to watch it for something in this genre. But where did that eye come in the flick?
Nowhere.
It's like we found an image on the internet. Oh, this looks cool. Yeah. Let's throw it on the cover. I mean, granted, she did have kind of the Blinky syndrome, what I call the Blinky syndrome, with the one green eye and the one blue eye, right?
Yeah.
She did have that going on. And when she was looking in the mirror, she did see the other lady. I don't want to give anything away. It sounds really vague, but
During one of her weird flashbacks.
2 of them. Yeah, she was actually twice throughout the movie. But it just makes no sense to have an image on the front that has nothing to do with your movie.
Or in the back, the hand reaching through and it's transparent.
That didn't freaking happen.
No. There was a hand that reached for her, but it wasn't blue, it wasn't gray.
Was it transparent?
It was in a barn.
Yeah.
And it was a guy's hand.
I'm sorry, Mike. I can't deal with that. I mean,
Right.
that's going to get
Yeah.
this
The
that's going to give this a
marketing lied
lower
to me.
score.
Yeah.
And
I'm
forget
mad.
the merits of the movie. Because the movie wasn't bad, but it's going to get a lower score for lying to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So presentation-wise, I thought it was pretty good looking, actually. Done in a nice widescreen format. This is not a movie for a lot of surround sound and stuff like that.
It really looked like you were out in Texas. I mean,
It
with all
did,
the brown
and it sounded
hues.
like you was out in Texas too. Yeah.
The
So
set design was all right.
the father, I can't remember his name. He's a real famous actor, man, but he did an excellent job of bringing that whole kind of Texas vibe
Sam
across on the
Shepard.
screen. That's right, Sam Shepard. Right. So he played it well, and actually
Yeah.
in the extra features, Sarah Michelle was asked. She was telling the story. She was asked who she wanted to play her father in this movie, and she said right off the top of her head, she said Sam Shepard, and she was like, that ain't gonna freaking happen, right? So she goes on about her business, and one of the agents comes up to her later and goes, okay,
him.
it's all taken care of. And she's like, what's taken care of? And she, Sam Shepard. And she's like, are you serious? Which that was kind of cool the way that all went down. But again, as a whole, this movie, I'm going to give it the 2 stars.
Yeah. And the other thing, the alternate and deleted ending, the one that was too shocking for the theater.
Oh, yeah.
Were you shocked? Were you totally shocked?
I was shocked at how it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
The other ending didn't make sense.
Yeah. The alternate ending would have made sense if they had different actors who represented the ages much better.
No. It had nothing to do with the ages. It was like, the car accident. Nobody seemed to get hurt. Okay, do you see how that happened now? They got rear-ended. Blam! Okay, the baby plops out. Boom! You got 2 healthy parents and a healthy baby, and their car is trashed in pieces all over the road.
Yep.
Okay, now I know that doesn't make sense if you haven't seen the movie, but trust me on this, it makes no sense. Okay, and it doesn't follow the plot. If they would have kept that ending in there, remember at the beginning of the movie? Remember at the beginning when we were trying to figure this out? I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, the little girl has got a bruise on her head. Where did that bruise come from? Remember at the beginning when they were at the carnival?
The carnival.
Right? And if they would have went with that ending, which actually kind of was in the beginning, it really wouldn't have made sense, in my opinion. It just, I don't know, didn't flow. Did not flow.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna give this sucker 1 star because I'm, 2.
Oh, yeah.
It would 2 stars just because it was almost a chick flick.
Yeah.
Belongs on Lifetime and very slow paced. And then I'm taking another one away because I'm just mad.
Yeah. Makes no sense. So 2 stars for me just because of the fact that I did try to take it, as upset as I was that it wasn't the movie that I thought it was and that I wanted it to be, it's still not a bad movie. And if you're bored, really bored, you might decide to sit down and check it out.
Or if your wife, a girlfriend, is saying, I'm tired of watching all them splattered zombie films. Let's watch something for me for a change. Say, I've got just the film for you.
Quite honestly, I could see the female, population digging this movie.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying on
Yeah.
Lifetime. That's the audience that this movie should
Yeah.
have been marketed to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it would have done very well.
I could certainly see that.
All right, I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We will talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.